This movie is a sequel to the 2016 previous box office hit. Set years after the first movie, this movie finds Buster Moon once again reaching for the stars. He's eager for the company at his now thriving theater to receive even greater acclaim on a bigger stage. Buster wants to take his productions out of regional theater and into the big leagues of a Las Vegas-styled musical show. First of all, this movie is a standard Hollywood operation to find an original hit and turns it into more cash grab franchise. You can easily guess that this movie is much worse than the original. It doesn't offer enough originality to truly make it stand out. The movie fundamentally fails to connect emotionally like the original did with the audiences. It's overstuffed, overly complicated, with a messy and flimsy plot. The film simply lacks the emotional depth that made the original relatable and its characters those you could root for. It sacrifices character development for a plot that sloppily rushes storylines and then turns into a commercial for Bono and U2's music at the very end. There are too many characters for a script to service. Sequels are supposed to tell you more about the main characters, but this movie fails in this aspect because you won't learn almost anything new about the main characters from watching this sequel. Most of the new characters also have hollow and stereotypical personalities. None of these new supporting characters has a backstory or fully developed personality. Of the main group, Ash is the only one to receive a substantial storyline that builds upon her growth from the first movie. Scarlett Johansson's strong vocal performance keeps Ash as one of the best characters in the ensemble. On the other hand, the Johnny character, who's probably the best part of the first movie, is terribly underused as a singer. This movie gives Johnny a new plot line that requires him to learn how to dance instead of focusing on his singing ability. This movie also mishandling the character development for Rosita, which is too bad as it undermines what could have been an inspirational subplot. In terms of plot, the movie follows a predictable formula for the second movie in an animated series. The main characters travel out of their home environment and get involved in new adventures somewhere else. There's nothing inherently wrong with that formula if it's done with an engaging story, which unfortunately not the case here. The entire movie lacks suspense and over-relies on the stringing together what are essentially separate animated music videos and trying to make it look like it's all part of a cohesive plot. When it comes to the songs, this movie is overstuffed with needle drops, which sometimes makes the movie feel more like a music video than an actual film. It continues to have an overload of pop hits, but it's less effective in this sequel compared to the first movie. That's because this movie is essentially a mediocre jukebox musical, where song placement is more important than having a well-written storyline, well-developed characters, and memorable dialogue. Overall, this is a disappointing follow-up to the first movie. The characters, plot, and song direction really let this movie down. We do not recommend this movie at all.